I'll start with Bharat. Bharat, can you brief about yourself?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Bharat. Go ahead.
Sir, I'm a BC graduate and I have been working in stock market company as a back office executive. So
Okay,
now I want to, yeah, now I want to switch from non-IT to IT.
okay, got it.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
Sujit, you can go ahead.
Hello everyone, this is Sujit. So I recently graduated. So I'm looking for like a Azure DevOps engineer role.
Okay. And Shweta.
Hello, sir. I'm Shweta. I'm working as a project associate in central government CSL NAL. So now I'm looking for a Azure development.
Okay. And Vaishnavi.
Hello, sir. I have done IT engineering. I'm a 22 pass out student, and I'm working in a Quadro company, non-IT company,
Okay.
non-ITP. Sorry.
Okay, got it. And I can see one more person, Xiaomi Redmi Note 9. Can you rename yourself?
Yes, everyone.
Yeah, go ahead. I didn't get your name.
Hello, are you hearing me?
Yeah, I can able to hear you. Go ahead.
Actually, this side is Sanket here. Actually, I'm from the Accenture. Actually, I'm from Accenture and I have done some courses in Azure DevOps. And today I have to requested to join to here in the by by Ganesh. So
Okay, got it, Sangeet. Yeah, Mamatha, we can start. Meanwhile, let them start other people. You can start in between.
Yeah, hello everyone. Good evening. So I'm Mamatha. So I'll be your trainer of the DevOps session. So to tell about myself, I have around 12 plus years of the experience. So I had been worked initially in the testing domain. Currently, I'm working on the DevOps. So I had a a good work experience on the different technologies like Azure, AWS, and Kubernetes, and along with that, some of the AI services currently. So I had been training since 3 plus years. So I had trained on various technologies related to the cloud and non-cloud, and means other than the cloud, like the different tools which we'll be using for the testing and also the development and the performance testing, like various tools related to the security as well. Yeah. So this is my quick intro, and yeah, let me share my screen. So yeah, as part of this course which we are taking, DevOps, we'll be concentrating on two different things. Like one is like where exactly we'll be more concentrated towards the um yeah, the job oriented. So apart from the job, uh, how exactly you can get into the DevOps domain. So apart from that, we'll be guiding you for the certifications as well. So Azure certifications as well. So these are the two main uh, profiles where exactly we'll be focusing. So this is the content which I can go, and we segregated that whatever the syllabus that we'll be taking. So as four different parts based on your expertise which you're looking. So we have four different levels. So one is which is going to start with the AZ 900. So it is kind of a fundamental. So to start with the very basic level, we are going to concentrate on, so what is cloud platform? So what are the different services that cloud service providers will be providing? So apart from that, if you when you go to the Azure cloud, so what are the different the services that Azure is going to provide? How when exactly you can use those various services? So that is what we are going to understand. Then we'll be having AZ 104. So this is related to the Azure administrator. Like when we'll be having, there are a lot of students like who are inside the organization also, who will be working as an a system desktop admin and all. So once they got a very good understanding about the cloud platforms and how exactly the Azure administration happens, so they can start looking into the administrator as well. So with this two skill sets, so they can easily switch their job from the non-cloud to the cloud platform. And apart from that, we have one more is the next level which we are going to take is AZ 400. So as part of this, we are going to understand about the Azure DevOps. So this is kind of a little bit higher level where exactly we can start looking into the DevOps engineer positions inside the Azure. So here we'll start exploring more kind of we'll be as part of the course. So we are going to have your this is like very basic level, so very concept level, which exactly we are going to do, the concepts we are going to understand and hands on to the get hands on hands on of the basic services in the Azure portal. Okay. So you have to use the Azure portal here as well, but very minimal to just to create the service, individual services which are present at the Azure level. But in the same way, when it comes to the administrator, so when you are going to set up a different networking configuration, storage services, and when you want to do bulk user creation inside the Azure account, like as an administrator, so we'll do this concepts as well, and then we are going to take certain lab activities we are going to perform. So based on that, we'll get end-to-end flow how to do the configurations as a administrator. And as a DevOps admin, so we are going to learn various individual tools which are present, integrate with the DevOps. So here we are more concentrating about the basic level of the tools, basic understanding about the DevOps board. Azure DevOps, it's a kind of the board which will be coming. So this is used for the project management. So how exactly we can use this for the project management inside the organization? Apart from that, we are going to understand about the various Git tool. So and also Azure repos, where exactly we're going to do the code management. Then we are going to set up different types of the pipelines. Like these are classic editor, and then we'll be having ML pipelines. We are going to do that. Apart from that, there are third party tools which organizations will be using, like Terraform, and then yeah, and also we can use the ARM templates as well from the Azure, which are going to provide. So we are going to understand that. So nowadays there are see, when you learn all this, if you are expert in Kubernetes, so you will the more job getting chances are present. So at the very basic level, so I'll be covering the Kubernetes basic concepts as well. So this we had been covered under the DevOps model. So apart when you wanted to go a little bit higher, like we if we are having already experience in the DevOps and DevOps tool, so then we can even try it as an Azure solution architect, so that we can concentrate from the certification point of view end, so AZ 305, and also we can start exploring how exactly we can do the uh, from the Azure architect level, how exactly we can implement the services. We can try to look at it at that. So for DevOps module, so DevOps session, we are going to cover this particular module. So from the sessions, what exactly you will be getting is, so for the first thing, so we'll be having the regular sessions, and like we'll be giving you the recordings for all the sessions which we are going to take. And after the session, so we are going to give you the concepts from the interview perspective. So how exactly we are going to get the interview based questions, and also few assignments which we are going to do. So here I have done a few assignments for the student who is like, I'll just give you the quick overview. So as part of the fundamentals, so what are all each the concept that we are covering. So based on the module wise, we start preparing the interview questions, and we start giving you the questions. So in that way you can start understanding about that as well. And when I wanted to show you the notes, like we can have exactly where exactly we can have a specific folder structure, and you will be getting every day's nodes and along with whatever the content that we are going to cover. So whenever I'll be having certain labs and all, so we'll be having the sessions day and you will get the recorded session. So whenever associated nodes is present, along with that, we are going to tag it. So let me show you properly. So this is one of the um, so the sessions recording where exactly you can find all the documents and links if there are present, if any notes is there. So I'll be giving you as such. So in that way, it will be helpful for you anytime to practice in that. And also when you're preparing for the certification, so I'll be just giving you the quiz like where exactly you will get the real-time assessments. So you can try to take up those assessments once you are done with the each module which we are going to cover. So I'll be sharing you the forms as such. This is one of the forms which I had shared. So we'll be having different types of the questions. So wherein you can solve it. So when you start solving around minimum five different assessments will be giving. So it is kind of a dumps for to clear your certifications, which is going to help you to crack the certification very easily with minimal without much complexity. Okay. So these are the things that you will be getting from the sessions, like you will be getting the assessments, and then you will be getting the class recordings, interview perspective. So at the end of the course, we'll be helping in the resume creation. So we'll be sharing the sample resumes where exactly you can start creating your resume based on that, and you can start adding the projects which we are going to. I mean, you can start adding the projects based on the practical sessions which we are going to do as part of the DevOps or the admin lab modules which we are going to do that. Okay. Yeah. So I'll just quickly go through the content about the syllabus. Any questions till now? Okay. Yeah. Let me go to the uh, session. So here, so as part of the fundamentals, you can see we have the core Azure concepts which are present. So first of all, we are going to start with very basic level, like where exactly what is fundamental, means what is before even I understand Azure. So what is a Azure? Correct. So we have to understand it. It is one of the cloud service providers. So what is meant by cloud service? Now we can access most of the service via internet. So like that earlier when I want the computation, like if you want any applications to be deployed, if you want any storage space, you're supposed to have the big data centers you have to maintain where exactly you can set up, means kind of server setup we have to do. We have to deploy in our in that environment our services and all. So it is going to cause huge maintenance cost for the organizations, and initial investment will also be more to overcome these challenges. So AWS means some of the cloud service initially AWS started. Later, Azure acquired more market. Like they started their own data centers and they started giving the data centers for the rent for the rest of organizations where exactly they can deploy their uh, whatever the services they want. So as such, the cloud computing now, there are multiple organizations which provide the cloud computing support. So we have Azure, AWS, and Google, and we have Alibaba, so IBM. There are plenty of organizations which will be providing the cloud support. So because of that, now in the organizations like uh, the more skill development has been started with these cloud platforms. Okay. So now so we are going to understand what exactly the cloud computing, what exactly the Azure, and what are the different types of the Azure services are present. Then we'll start understanding about the different cloud deployment models. Like there are uh, different deployments models like public cloud, private cloud, and community cloud, multi-cloud environments and all. We start exploring what are these cloud deployment models and what is the benefits of having our services running on the cloud. So all these things. So then, what is the basic architectural components of the Azure? So when you take any cloud platform, there is an organized way how exactly we are going to create our resources and do the deployments. So in the Azure, when we talk, so it is always starts with the subscriptions. So this is for our billing purpose, billing track purpose. We'll be having our Azure subscriptions, and at that we'll be having the resource groups, then will this is not the management groups will be at the top. So then we'll be having the resource groups, and then we'll be having the resources as well. Okay. So and then when we talk, we can, when we go to the cloud, we can have globally distribute our resources. How exactly it's been helpful is like it will be having a lot of places in different places, so which is going to be helpful to deploy our resources on any part of the globe. Okay. So then we are going to understand about the core Azure services. So as part of the core Azure services, we have various kind of services. Like I'll just, rather than showing here, we have different types of the services: app service, SQL, and Azure. And then we are having tools like different Azure services tools. So where exactly will be helping for different types of the application development, building, storage, and all. And then there are governance features like Active Directory. Now it has been changed as Microsoft Entra ID. All these things. Let's then go to the portal. Yeah. So this is the home, like where exactly this is the platform. So whenever you want, what is the main advantage of the cloud is whatever the service that you wanted to create, you can create in minutes. When you wanted to scale up, you can do it without any dependency if you have the subscription. Okay. So once you created the Azure subscription, if it is present, so you can create any kind of the services. So it is providing various kind of a services like virtual machines. So here we can create different types of the virtual machines whichever I want. So then I'll be having, let me duplicate my. So we can create web app, like where exactly this is the platform as a service. We'll be getting complete runtime environment ready with that. So just we can go and deploy our services, and we can create various kind of a databases, then function apps, key vaults to store our secrets. Okay, these are the data factory where exactly when we wanted to play with much more data, when I wanted to manage, so we can go with that. And also no need, if you no need to create resources always with difficulty, we can have certain templates and we can try to deploy directly. So for that we'll be having a template deployments as well. So as such, like you can see here, related to the DevOps, we have various kind of a services. Related to the identity, we have certain services. And so for the integration with the other cloud platforms are with the Azure, so we have different services. And related to the security, these are the different services which we'll be providing. And related to storage, I have storage account, Azure Cosmos DB. These are the different types of the services that we can create. Related to the web deployments, these are the services that we can create. So for each, like around 300 plus services will be provided from the Azure, like where exactly you can start exploring and start using those. And here you can see related to the machine learning also, when you wanted to create any of the machine learning related services, like if we wanted to create any model, so we can start creating on that. So we'll be understanding more about these services from the Azure fundamentals, the basic level, how exactly we can create it. Okay. So then we have the level two, where exactly we have the admin module. So as I told, the administrator always includes more about the management of the users and management, means creating the backups and creating the different network related issues and all, and setting up the various virtual networks and all. So as part of that, so we are going to do different types of the lab activities, where exactly we are playing more with Microsoft Entra ID and virtual network. So here we can go as, so we will be having, when I wanted to manage users. So there are a lot of we can, where exactly we can have multiple users, we can provide them the access, and we can restrict them their access with different types of the services that Azure provides, like a passwordless authentication and multi-factor authentication, single sign-on. There are different types of the. This is one of the security layer which we can say. So from using Microsoft Entra ID, so we can restrict the access to the specific users. And also there is one more service called role-based access control, where exactly we can restrict the user from accessing all the resources, and we can just provide the specific user or the group with a specific access. So we're going to learn more in depth practically when it comes to the admin. And also there are when you wanted to create, we always don't use go and create an individual service. So there are the cloud shell platform which you will be getting, means we'll be getting the command line platform where exactly we'll be using this command line tools to create the services by using the ARM templates and all. So that is how the industry, the practice will go on. So we'll start looking into the various lab activities where exactly we can create different types of the ARM templates and we can deploy by using the Cloud Shell and create a resources inside the Azure, and we can do the configurations internally the way we wanted to set it up our resources. So and then the very important tool for the resources to be monitor is the monitor. So as part of the monitor setup, once you set up the monitor, we can get various kind of the logs inside the monitor. We can try to check it under the log analytic workspace which it is going to create. So this will help us to find out all the root causes when we are running our application inside the Azure platform. So we can do even check from the activity logs as well. And also we can try to go here and we can start doing question query language, and then we can try to get various loop, kind of logs which are getting generated inside the application when it is running on the Azure platform. So we'll explore more about setting up the monitor and log analytic workspace and how the log analytic workspace will be pulling the data, all these things. Okay. So as part of the admin, one thing we are going to learn more about the Microsoft Intra account and Azure Monitor logs. And apart from that, very important module is the storage account. So when it comes to the storage account, like there are different types of when we create a storage account. So it will allow us to store different types of the data like Azure storage blobs and storage file shares, then tables and queues. So how do we set up this and internally authentication, how it happens? All these things we'll be doing by using the ARM templates. So then we'll be having the network, so virtual network. So this is one of the major module. So virtual network will start creating the virtual network, and there is whenever it comes to network, we have to do network peering and application gateway, VPN gateway, when we wanted to connect into the specific network from the different on-premises resources which are present, and other cloud platforms which are present. So we'll start exploring more into the virtual network and how to set up the public IP address, private IP address, all these things we'll try to understand. So that is more important concepts that we are going to understand about the Azure um, administrator part. So then when I get into the DevOps, so we are going to understand more into the DevOps module. So as a software as a service, which we are going to get complete software which exactly we can use directly from the Azure. Means few services we utilize only the space. Few services they'll give us along with the space runtime environment. Few service only I'll be getting. I don't need to deploy my code directly. I can get the benefit out of that. So in that services, so one of the service that we can get it is the Azure DevOps. So in the DevOps, we will be setting up the project and we are going to set up the individual projects. When we set up, we can see for the project management the board where exactly you will be your day-to-day work will be managed. So we'll be getting all the work items where exactly you can see your boards, user stories, and you can track your task which you're going to do, all these things. So with that we can this is the repo. We are going to learn more about. So by using the git, you will be doing the code pull and code push and maintaining the code. So the code via git, we are going to understand all the different commands that we'll be using as part of the git, which helps us to manage our code on the cloud. So this is how we can create multiple repos and play with the git tool which we are going to understand. So similar to the repo, we'll be using the GitHub as well. So we'll be getting hands on for both the Azure repo and the GitHub, just to make sure that both will work as a continuous integration tools which helps us to maintain our code repositories. So then comes the pipelines where exactly we can do the deployments by using the pipeline. So we'll be understanding what exactly the pipeline. So when it comes to the pipeline, we can set up two different types of the pipeline. So one is the classic editor, another one is the YAML pipelines which I want. So we'll be understanding how to set up both the pipelines and then how to do the deployments with different source. Like here we can use the Terraform templates and we can use a ARM templates and we can use bicep languages from templates from the Azure. So we'll take one example for each and then we'll try to do the deployments. And we can take one examples on any of the images that we had going to create, like Docker images which we are going to create, and we'll try to do the deployment. So with that we'll get complete understanding about the pipeline. So artifacts, like where exactly we are going to store our this is a test lab. So usually when I wanted to have all the testing related documents and project test plans and also we can try to manage it as a central repository. Then all the project related artifacts, like example if you're creating any of the binary codes which you are going to create, are based on the code which you wanted to create a versions which can be used by other teams which are going to use. So during that time we can store our code in the form of artifacts. So we are going to dig more in as part of the DevOps module. So we'll be digging into more this board and services. So apart from that, we'll be understanding about other IAC tools like Terraform, ARM templates, and Bicep languages, which supports the Azure DevOps platform. Okay, so these are the things which had been present in this talk. Okay, so we're going to set up the build pipeline and release pipeline. So when we talk about the build and release pipeline, so these are the pipelines where we create build and the release pipelines will be creating. So this is with classic editor. When we do YAML, we'll be not having separate release pipeline. In the pipelines itself, we can set up both for creation of the build and for setting up the release pipeline. So both we are going to cover it. So by creating this pipeline, directly when we set up this pipeline, so it will directly create the resources in the Azure platform. So we'll understand to create different types of the resources, how exactly we can create and do the code deployment by taking the code from the repos as such. We'll start exploring more on that. So this is the brief intro about the services which we are going to learn. So anyone has any questions till now?
Sujit, Sanket, Sweta, Bharat, any questions?
No, no questions.
You understood all or didn't get anything?
I can see one more person by the name of RVK. Vinay, right?
Yeah,
Any questions, Vinay, from your end?
no, not yet.
Okay, fine. So what I'll do is I'll just give you the content. So as part of the course which we are going to take it up, so you can go through that. And also, if you have any concerns and if you wanted to go through the recorded session, so I'll just give you the access. So you can just go through that, and later you can let me know, like if you have any questions or anything. And what is the preferable time for the connecting for the daily sessions?
For me, like morning hours.
Morning hours.
Yeah.
Okay. And
In Azure, what topics you are going to cover? Because I missed in starting initial part.
Hmm?
Like, I missed the initial part of this demo class.
Hmm.
So in Azure,
Hmm.
like what topics you are going to cover?
Initial
Like,
topics, right?
yeah. Like
So, hmm.
900 and 104 we have, right? So you are going to cover complete topics in that?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that is how, like, usually what I'll do refer is, so
Mm-hmm.
practical sessions which is there, I'll just cover from the portal and I'll show the resource creation and all. Apart
Okay.
from that, the syllabus from where exactly I'm taking is from the Microsoft only. The order also I'll be covering as such only from this one, where if you can go here, you can see these concepts over here, right? So I'll be picking the modules from this so that it will be easy for you to take up with the certification as well, and know very well about the resource creations and all, how it happens on the portal as well. So in that way, you will be more confident to take up the certification and to uh, uh, means when you learn in this way, so if you go to the interview also, you will be knowing all the services which are present as part of the Azure.
Okay.
For all the three modules from the Microsoft platform only, I'll be referring the content. See, doing practical sessions or the implementation will be different, but the content which is there, so as we are going to cover that modules, so it is going to help you in the certification. So in that way, both the goals will be achieved.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Any
Sujit, what is your expectations about the timings?
For me, it's evening. I think it's morning for you.
Okay. And Sweta,
Yes,
so you're fine with morning classes or evening classes?
evening classes.
Okay. And Bharat? Bharat, what are your expectations? We are not able to hear you, Bharat. Okay. Sanket, I'll talk to you regarding this. And any other I missed? So if you have any questions, you can ask her. We have Mamatha, you can ask her. If you don't have questions, then we can wind up for now.
Yeah, and also we can start two demo sessions, so you can just try to attend it. Later, you can, if you have any questions, also you can come with that. So then you can clarify, and we can continue with the session. Okay. Like if you have any concerns related to the like if you are a fresher or experienced, like how exactly you have to take forward, in that way, if you have any concerns are related to this subject, when you are having any questions, so you can just reach out to me, and once you're comfortable, once you're confident, then you can start with the session. Okay.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, I think Ganesh will update with you the timings, so we can connect.
You said like we are going to teach one the demo class, right? When it's going to be?
So yeah, I'll update with the Ganesh
The
once
regular
I.
Okay.
classes, the regular class is going to start from Wednesday, not from like tomorrow. From Wednesday it's going to start, but I'll confirm the timings, whether it's morning or evening.
Yeah.
So based on the
So
majority of the people like availability, we will let you know.
Okay.
I'll give you a call everyone tomorrow, and I'll let you know the timings.
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
like
you.
in DevOps, you said DevOps also, right? Azure DevOps.
Yes.
So in DevOps, what tools you are going to teach us?
Hmm?
Like in DevOps,
Hmm.
what kind of tools we are going to use in
Yeah,
Azure?
so as part of the DevOps, so we are going
Yeah.
to learn more about the ADO board, Azure DevOps board. So apart from
Okay.
like project management, day-to-day
Yeah.
project management, so how exactly you can create user stories, status update, and sprint, all the other the process that we follow as part of the Agile. And apart from that, we are going to cover Git. So Git will be covering, and as part of the pipelines, we are going to learn both the classic editor and YAML pipeline. Then we are going to learn about the Terraform, the template creation and deployment from your internal system, and along with that, by using the pipeline, how exactly you are going to do the Terraform code deployments, and then we are going to learn about the ARM templates. So apart from that, I'll just try to give a brief intro about the GitHub and the Jenkins pipeline creation.
Okay.
So apart from that, the basic about the Kubernetes.
So any questions from anyone? So if you don't have a question, we can wind up for now. Then I'll give you a call like even tomorrow.
Yeah.
And Sanket, just be here. I just want to discuss with you two things.
Sure. Thank you, everyone. We connect.
Mamatha, 1 minute. We have to talk to Mr. Sanket.
Okay,
And
sure.
others you can leave if you don't have any questions. Bharat and Sujit.